So we have a case study for the next 20 minutes where Metin will be sharing how he impacted and influenced and drove the change to an e-com campaign process, and how he enabled 9 departments to work effectively, agilely towards one common goal with no silos. And in terms, I guess in 2 sentences or in a nutshell, the key question really to be answered, is it possible to be agile in a traditional corporate structure? That might be relevant for many people listening in today. And we will literally learn in the next 20 minutes how Arçelik or Arçelik, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, Metin. Okay.
Arçelik.
Arçelik.
Yeah, Arçelik. Well, actually, you know, maybe I can tell it now. Arçelik is probably known all over the world, but by different brand names. We use Rico, very famous in England, and Grundig, you might know, and Blomberg. We have around 13 brands at the moment, if I'm not sure, globally. But I'm going to talk about the local, something we did in the local market in Turkey.
In Turkey, right? That's wonderful. And Metin, when you're not talking about the local market in Turkey, you're an avid cooker, very passionate about cooking.
Yeah.
And almost every evening after work, you'll jump into the kitchen and turn on his music and play with his pans. That sounds wonderful to me. I'm sick of cooking after having done it non-stop with the family for 15 months. So you would be a very welcome guest in my home. So I'm going to hand over to you and have a great session.
Well, the thing is, it's the first, you know, it's not the first time I'm going to a summit and talking to summit. And each time I do an online summit from home, as you can see, something happens. And now a TV came to my house. So people are going to come in. They're not going to be seen, I hope so, but it's like that. So let's start.
We can't see your slides yet, Metin, so I don't know whether you need to reactivate that process.
Yeah, I'll do that at the moment, and we'll start right now.
And even if the most important thing is listening to you rather than reading your slides.
Why? 1 second. It's gone somehow.
That's okay. Whilst you do that in the background, I shall also let everyone know that you actually have an Instagram account to show all your wonderful cooking, and it's called Metin's Kitchen for those of you who are also avid cooks.
Okay, here we go. Somehow it disappears, I have to say. It was on before. The application, I see the application window. It appeared and it went.
It disappeared. Yeah. This is just what happens, right? Live.
Maybe, you know what I'll do, just to, I can, I'm just gonna exit and come back again and try to do it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, whilst we're doing that, maybe we can have a little fun in the chat. Who else is a keen cook online today? Who's with us? Keen cook. Please send us your chat or maybe even your favorite recipe. How about that for some ad-libbing in the background while Metin gets himself sorted out with his slides up there. We have some keen cooks in the chat, Metin. You're not alone.
Oh,
someone else enjoys it.
It's a lot of people became cooks. But then again, this is like ridiculous because it's not showing there somehow.
We have slow cooked lamb shank. We have some popular chicken recipes in marinades. That sounds lovely. Someone says they're not online, but they do like to cook. Do you need your slides, Metin, or can you do it by just talking with us?
Well, I think the slides are quite important. Here they show it again and they left again. I don't know what happened. I'm going to try once more, and if not, I'm going to just talk about it.
Okay, no worries. Take your time.
I mean, I did work on those slides, but 1 second. Maybe I can do it from somewhere else.
I shall keep the crowds entertained. We have here Moroccan chicken, slow cooked. Keep those recipes coming, folks. Anything that you would recommend people learn to cook? Something healthy, something less healthy.
No.
Do presenters share their cooking tips? That's a very good question. We'll have to ask that as a question to Metin at the end of his session. What's his favorite recipe?
Okay, this is weird. It's not showing up somehow. I mean, the presentation is not showing up, and
I'm sorry, I can't help, Metin.
No, you cannot help me with that. But you know what? We'll go for it like this, right?
Let's just do it this way. I'm confident
about it when we do. So I'm just gonna put it in front of me just in case, you know.
Yeah, as long as you've got it in front of you, then you know exactly what messages you want to share. And it's a beautiful dog in the background. Was that a husky?
Yeah, that's a husky. That's my boy. He's out. This is out.
Oh, beautiful. Maybe someone can share with us what dog they have at home, because I'm sure there's some dog lovers too, as well as cooks in the background. So whilst we're getting you ready, fantastic. My dog's a boxer. I'll share that. I've got a beautiful boxer called Tina.
This is unbelievable. Look what happened.
Look at this. We
All
talk about.
All right. Now I cannot see myself, but that's fine. So we can start. And
we can start. Over to you.
So who we're going to talk about is our mindset and structure. I just told about Arçelik and what happened in 2015. Arçelik decided to go omni-channel and digital transformation, and suddenly e-commerce came to be a hot topic with us. But before that, I will speak about my personal transformation, because for the last 20 years, I'm doing digital marketing and digital strategy and digital transformation. And I am coming from agencies, from the agency mindset. So the difference between an agency mindset and a company or a corporate mindset, let's talk about it. So in the agency mindset, you go from, okay, let's do it. You push the button, and the next thing is going to say is like, okay, what's the deadline? You know, it's quite fast. You just think about something, talk about it, make a decision, and go. And today, when I'm into the corporate, it's a bit different. It's a big corporate, by the way, 36,000 people working in it. So okay, I said, look, let's do it, and then I get this. We tried it before, it didn't work. They will never let you do that. Did you speak with X department for that? It's not your responsibility. Did you speak with Y department for that? So it's a different mindset. We have to understand agility. Agility is coming from startups and technology companies, so it's a different mindset, and the corporates are different mindsets. So the problem began with this. So you're not gonna maybe connect it, but this is the problem. What you're gonna see here is a banner with one of our e-commerce campaigns. Since we are omni-channel in our campaigns, you can buy it also online and offline, but naturally, when you go online, you have much more campaigns, and the company wasn't used to that. So this is the major, let's say, issue. So let's just watch it for like 15 seconds. There's nothing really important here, just for you to understand where it all began. So this looks kind of, okay, what can go wrong with this? I mean, what's the problem with the campaign? So practically everything can go wrong. Why it can go wrong, I'll tell you. First of all, it's a 65-year-old company, and we are used to a dealership sales system. This means that offline sales, and it's not very frequent. I mean, you're going to have maybe one campaign or two campaigns during a month, and now we're talking about 5 or 6 campaigns during a month. So it's a bit different. And you have a very young digital marketing and e-commerce system within that system. So you know what happens to youngsters. I mean, they have a bit more difficult time. And so the third thing is, who's responsible for this? I mean, now we have different types of campaigns. So who's going to be responsible for everybody's, they know what they're doing all their daily life, but now there's something new. And are all departments involved enough and feel ownership, which is very important, as you know, feeling ownership for this process. So who do you think took responsibility and ownership in our case? You guessed right, I guess. So the new guys did, because it's a new process within the company, the e-commerce and digital marketing department. So is that a problem? What can go wrong with that? So let's see. First of all, let's understand behind one campaign, who is behind it. We have e-commerce, we have digital communications, we have performance marketing, traditional communications, product management and marketing, and CRM, and supply chain, and IT, and sales. So actually you have 9 different departments working on one campaign. What does it mean? 9 departments mean, in our company, more than 100 people. So one campaign, 100 people behind it, very difficult to manage everybody to orchestrate on one campaign. So we had a big problem. So we tried to do digital marketing and e-commerce campaigns, but we didn't know how to do that. So what could go wrong? Let's see. So, and e-commerce, I mean, they have to upload all these lists of, they have to gather all the goods from the different marketing, from the product marketing departments. Digital communications have to do all the assets. They have to create it on time and go online, and performance marketing have to work on every keyword and make a strategy according to that campaign. They all have their business. Traditional communications, TV, are we going to do that? Not going to do that? We don't know. Product management and marketing are not used at the time. We're talking about 2020, in the beginning of 2020, they weren't really used to make so many campaigns one after another. CRM couldn't get the information on time, so they couldn't segmentize anything. Supply chain didn't know about the campaign, so they could not supply the goods to the dealers. We have 3,000 of them, and we did not. I mean, we had a campaign, but we could not have the products in our shops, or in our website. So that's a problem. And IT wasn't very involved, so at times we had system overload. So the website could, it could fall, or it could have some issues. So we say one campaign and we get all this. It's crazy. And sales, of course, they had to inform about this campaign to all of our dealers. And we're talking again about 3,000 dealers. So that's a lot. So the diagnosis, if you can see, it's first group, we have lack of ownership because we don't feel part of this process. Second group is work overload and messy process. It's very difficult. You're young, you don't know the company that well, and you're trying to do something new, and there is an overload for you and trying to convince people, etc. And when you look at both groups, you see one thing. You have silos, you have to combine everybody together. So we have to work on that. And to do that, first of all, you would say, okay, so you can have weekly meetings. What's the problem? I mean, gather everybody. But yeah, you can do meetings, but meetings do not create ownership, right? And then why not use Teams, Slack, Asana, or any other collaboration tools which you are probably using? But is that enough? I don't think so, because they don't change mindsets. There are tools, and you need a change in mindset and behavior to do that correctly. So it's a nice tool. So a lot of companies think that if you get Teams, Slack, or Asana into your company, that's going to solve everything. It's just a good tool to use, but you have to change the mindset. So for us, the failure was an opportunity to create new processes. And what I'm going to tell today is actually about that. And I think the most important part is without actually changing the structure of the company, which is very difficult. I mean, a lot of times we are taking terms like agile and scrum. These are terms coming from big technology companies, and for big corporates, it's very difficult to go and copy them, or saying lean management and everything. It's really difficult. So by the time you're going to do that transformation, so there are ways and methods to do that. So since I'm coming from the startup mentality, I said, okay, let's use the startup mindset. It's difficult, but let's try to do that. What does it mean? So we said, let's call this a campaign agile team. What does it mean, campaign agile team? Well, as I said, the startup process starts in startups. You have to go to VCs, and you have to find fundings. And one thing you learn being in a startup or owning a startup, that you cannot go to a VC as a single person. You have to go few people. You have to be a group of people to make a successful venture. So what I understood, that we have to raise awareness to this and get some people with us and talk, and after convincing them to work on the idea together. So this is one of the things. Second is a teamwork. Teamwork is very and extremely important here. So I'll remind you, biggest obstacles, silos and ownership. You must all know it. And we said, okay, let's get managers to do that, to break the silos and ownership. What do you think? Well, managerless. So the agile team, the idea behind our agile team, and which I do think it worked for us, was to make it a managerless agile team. So in our agile team, campaign agile team, who's managing these campaigns, we do not have any managers. We just meet once a month and listen to them and try to be their sponsor. So this is a very nice thing about managerless teams. Why? Because we have few problems. It's we started with less, so it's less ego, yeah, brings less silo. So that managerless thing really worked out for us because we have really young, talented people, and when they work by themselves, it makes wonders. You don't need managers there. Managers use them for strategy and sponsorship and everything. But this really made the whole difference between our agile team and other agile teams that you might heard of. So what we did, we picked one team member from each department. We had 9, remember? So we just made sure that this person is a senior person and not somebody that everybody listens to. So what happened is that person within the team, they worked on the campaign, and that person went to his department and said, okay, this is what's happening. And what did we get when we did this structure? So we have an agile team. They're meeting on weekly or twice a week, and they're talking about the campaign. So what did we get? They get, first of all, very important, knowing each other's pain points. That is so important. So they can talk about this freely and what is the problem and how we can solve it with everybody. Second thing is better planning abilities and agility. We just got that. Agility is so important here, and they could plan things better. And insights, it's so important. When you work in silos, it's very difficult to get holistic insights. So with this approach, we did get insights, and now we can plan things better and plan things better for the future campaigns. And one more thing, it's a company memory. So if somebody goes and a new person comes, the whole team already knows what's his position or her position and how they can make things. They don't start from scratch. There is a core of a team there working on things. So, and we did get significant execution improvements and a result-oriented approach after talking about the pain points and everything. So this is what we got. So, but this is not everything that we got. What actually got is ownership, team spirit and culture. It's a change. That's the change we're talking about. Belonging, which is, how extremely important it is. Success feeling, and build trust. Of course, recognition. Maybe we can work on some of the things still, but I mean, these are so important when you work on a team, and this is something that the team does provide you. So, but the bottom line result, you do all this, and what does it matter if you don't get a real result, business result out of that? And this is what happened. So almost 10 times more the revenue before the agile team was on and today. So I think this tells about the whole success of this story. I mean, when you do 10 times more. So do we have any improving points? Yes, we do. I mean, we still have to work on the recognition, and the people on the agile team seem to be working a bit more than their friends in their departments, because they have to, they have to take care of that campaign and tell that to them and make sure that things are happening, not to work instead of them. So we still have improvement points, but that's fine. I mean, this is how things work, and we're working on that. So thank you for listening. And most of all, the agile team, thank you. Here, I'm done with the presentation. I hope you find it to be useful.
Thank you very much, Metin. I was very impressed because we started a few minutes late and you actually finished on time, and you had some great slides in there. I hope you weren't rushing for us, and I hope you managed to say all the things that you wanted to say.
Are there any questions? We don't have time for that, though.
Well, let's take some time. I think there's a couple of comments. Someone appreciating your nice storytelling. and thanking you for sharing some very concrete examples. So that's a nice bit of feedback. It's always nice to get comments like that. I'm going to check the other chat because sometimes people don't write it in the session chat. No, I think we're doing well. If there's one key message, Metin, because there's, you know, you summarized in 10 minutes something which has taken a lot of effort, you know, and energy over the last months and years. If there's one or two key messages you would like our lovely audience to go away with, what would it be? What are the one or two key messages and advice?
Okay, I think the first thing is don't feel like there is a structure boundary, because then you'll have to wait forever. You know, don't wait forever. You can do it by yourselves. I mean, it can come bottom up and not up to bottom, you know. So this is something that the need is you can see the need, and you have the tools to do that without changing the whole organization. So this is, I think, the most important thing. And, you know, we're always talking about being in a team and how team is an important thing. And I think that team spirit, what changed, I'm talking about 10 times more. It's not like 20% more, not 30% more. I mean, this is a success story. So it worked for us. So, you know, you can, we talked about a campaign agile team, but you can take it to anything else in your company. Because a lot of us in big, you know, we're working in big companies and there are silos and there are lots of departments, and it's really difficult to manage things either on Slack or Teams or whatever, or emails, God forbid, you know, and this is a good way to do that and deal with that.
And back to the topic of, I have to ask you, Metin, I cannot resist. What is your favorite dish? If you could do anything in the world, cook anything in the world, what would be your favorite dish?
Well, there is no favorite dish. This is so difficult. Well, I'm a hybrid. I was born in Turkey and left when I was 6 and lived in Tel Aviv for the rest of my life. So hummus is like a big thing for us. Yeah. So I like to do that because it's, yeah, I mean, I like a lot of things. So
I'm sure you're being far too modest with us, Metin.
Well, this is really difficult to find, I have to say.
You've got a yummy on the comments in the chat. So you've obviously, there's probably someone who's still hungry or even thinking about that aperitif moment at the end of the day. Very good. And my other last question is, what is the name of your beautiful husky dog that walked by earlier? Alpha.
Well, he's gone.
Alpha. Should we go and get Alpha? They're great. Alpha. They always turn up.
Well, he's busy, I guess. I don't know.
I guess he's busy. Yeah, he's sleeping.
Yeah, they love to sleep most of the day. Then we go out for walks and everything. But he's not. He's like, oh,
he's off.
He's rushing now. He's coming. Alpha.
He's coming, isn't he?
Yeah. Where are you?
Here he is. What a beautiful dog. I thought they like, are you living in a hot or warm country? I thought they like cold countries, huskies.
Well, actually, I bought, well, they like everything. They just need to be outside a lot. And if it's hot, then turn on the AC. That's fine, you know.
Okay, very good. Yeah. Alpha, beautiful. Metin, thank you very much for sharing with us. And if you are around for a little while more, then I'm sure people will be connecting with you for a private messenger as well.
Of course. Thank you so much for hosting.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.